Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is your boy Kenyon. I'm going to make a little short video. I decided I'm going to do a video just about every week. My lease to purchase breakdown. Tell you what the fuel costs, what a truck grossed that week, and the deductions. After the deductions, what I made. I'm at home right now in home time. Like, I just got home this morning, and just chilling. So I'm gonna give you some tips on this, on how to if you have questions about how to fuel as an owner op, lease to purchase. I'm gonna tell you what I do and what I'm doing right now and what happened really in that week. This is not for this current week. It's for last week. The week of let's see, what's the date? The date is the 13th. This is for the week of October 31st through November 6th. So this is not this week's current week deductions and what truck rolls. And this week, this is when I have Myra, aka Volvo, took into the dealership to get the bunker heater fixed because the bunker heater wasn't working. And so while that was in the shop, they gave me a rental that they wouldn't charge me for. Thankfully, they were nice enough not to charge me for the rental. Otherwise, I would have said, you know what? I'll deal with my Volvo bunker not heating. I'll just idle. It's gonna cost me more fuel, but I'll take it. So the Volvo was in the shop for like a week. So I drove this Freightliner Cascadia. I don't know what year it was. They were about that truck. That truck only had one fuel tank. It had the super singles, and it got horrible fuel mileage. But while I was driving that truck, I had to fuel it out of my own pocket. That week I went from Ohio down to Texas, back up to Indiana, over to Pennsylvania, and back home. And let me tell you, I hated that Freightliner. I talked about it in one of my previous videos how much I hated that Freightliner. It's in the video. I think it's the 28-minute video I made down in Texas. Like I said, I do this when I got time. I don't do it every week, but I'm gonna make an effort to do this at least once a week. So I'm gonna tell you one thing I do when I fuel this, especially since it's getting cold up here up in Ohio. I do not want to go home with the tank less than half full. So this week I've been calculating my fuel, how much it's going to take to get the run done, and then I'll add 20 gallons to the fuel I was going to get, and with the just hopes of getting home like I did today at a half a tank. I did not want to have the truck sitting on my 34-hour reset because it's getting cold up here. It's getting down to the 32s, 29 degrees. Did not want the truck sitting on anything less than a half tank. So when I fueled up for my last run, which was I delivered about an hour and a half away from where I live right now. And so when I filled up for that run, I calculated how many gallons it was going to take to get the run done, which was, I believe, 38. So yeah, it was 38 gallons that was going to get the run done. So I put in extra 20 gallons on that and got home on a half a tank. So if you have dual tanks, like I said, make sure you split what you're going to put in the fuel to get the run done between both tanks. Cut it in half. Put, like that run, I put 29 gallons in each tank. 29 gallons in each tank. So they're both even. So they're both at half. I put my depth tank up to $10 in the depth tank, and that's at half. So I want to make sure everything, my fluid, my depth, and my fuel is at half. So that was what I suggest to you is definitely in the winter you do not want your fuel below half, especially if you're going home for a 34-hour reset. Keeps the fuel from gelling up, and you'll be able to get rolling when you go back out. So that a week that I had that rental, with that truck, I grossed $4,992, and after deductions, that my take home was $2,097.69. So what really played a role in that was the fact that I had to, on that Freightliner, since it was only had one fuel tank, and it wasn't even huge. It's not a big fuel tank on there. It's not like it's only a 130-gallon tank. My Volvo holds, I think it's like 160 gallons on each tank. So I would have to I would fill up. I would calculate how many gallons it was going to take to get the load done, right? So I will pretty much fill up that whole tank on one run. And then what I would have to do, because I was getting towards eve, the time I got to my delivery, I had to stop at a different Love's. And pay a higher price than what I got when I first pulled up. Which that stuff adds up at the end of the week. Obviously, since my fuel bill was $1,573.92. So that's the reason why my fuel bill is usually that high. Usually, with that Volvo, my fuel bill runs about, I think the most I spent in a week is $1,200. The least I spent in a week was $600 some dollars in fuel that week with all the surcharges, and that's $1,573.96, and that's after all the fuel charges I got for those loads. So that tells you that thing was costing me like a lot of money in fuel. That's why I hated that Freightliner. It was not very fuel efficient. I don't care what people say, those super singles and taking an extra fuel tank off, it's not worth it. You're not saving that much money on fuel. As you see, I spent more money on fuel on a super single truck, a truck with super singles, than I did on a truck with duals. So I don't like super singles. That's part of the reason why I got that Volvo. And another thing that played a role in there is my tolls, which was $176.90. That's a big ouch right there. I wasn't trying to spend that much on tolls, but I wound up driving all over Pennsylvania around the toll pipe, and I got accumulated that. Now, if it wasn't for the fuel, if it would have been like somewhat normal, around 900, that really wouldn't affect it. The tolls really didn't affect my deduction. I could have absorbed that if it didn't cost so much to fuel that Freightliner. And you're going to see the difference next week when I tell you what my fuel breakdown was for when I got my Volvo back. And you're going to see a huge difference there next week when I release that breakdown. So I was so glad to get my Volvo back. I can't tell you how glad I was to get it back. It was, I hated that truck. Got the truck back. And when I got the truck back, after the dealership, I noticed that they did something with my release pin, because the release pin to open the outside compartment is like right behind the driver's seat, and it's missing. I can't open my outside compartment from inside the truck. In order to get down in there, I have to lift the bunker up to get to that compartment if I want to get something that's down in there. So I was a little disappointed. They already told me they're going to order the release pin and install it at the terminal. So I'm happy about that. But yeah, that's what happens when you take a truck and you get some major rewiring work done on a truck. at a dealership, what happens is they fix one thing and they mess up something else. They totally mess up something else, and then you got to take it back to get that one issue refixed, and then they may fix that and screw up the whole other thing. So that's why I hate taking trucks to dealerships, because a lot of those guys, when it comes to rewiring, honestly, they don't know how to put the wires back. All they know is they need to get those wires out of the way to work on something they need to get to. And they'll worry about putting stuff back. They may tear up something completely different. Don't know, they had no clue working in that area. They screw it up. It's just something they do. They don't know how to put stuff back, put it back the way the manufacturer had put it back. So they'll have not since most times they don't even know what the wires go to. They just know, okay, this is the area I need to work in, and that's it. And they have to take a whole bunch of stuff apart to get to that one area. So putting it back, they may break something. Something that was working before you took it to the dealership may not work after you leave the dealership, after you get the truck back from the dealership. It's messed up. I don't know why they do it like that. Honestly, I would have rather, I should have just kept the truck and just idle, and just said screw it, idle. And I would still have my release man for the outside compartment, and I would have my truck. I would have had a good week. This week, what I took home was okay. It wasn't the best, it's okay. And for the next breakdown, it's going to be okay even again. So it's probably going to be a little worse than that week. So, but it still came out ahead. That's the most important part. Is I came out ahead and made some money. But that's all I got for you guys today. I'll come back next week at some point, give you the breakdown once I get the final numbers in for that week. And so, peace.